Hello everyone, 8bitDav here back again with another video. This week we're going to be looking at web components. What you're currently looking at right now is the webcomponents.dev web client, which is an area of web components allowing you to use some of their functionality in this kind of front-facing web client, similar to what CodePen might look like, with this kind of live output view for the HTML code you're coding over here. So we're going to talk a little bit about what web components is, why you might want to use it from maybe a business perspective, and just some of the more intricate details of why web components might be a better option for you rather than using a front-end framework, or maybe in tandem with a front-end framework, or cases where you might be wanting to utilize this technology. So what is web components? Web components are, as listed here in the introduction, a set of web platform APIs allow you to create custom, reusable, encapsulated HTML tags used in web pages and web apps. Kind of distilling that information, boiling it down. You see a lot of the benefits of using web components where it's kind of a write once, use many times scenario within coding in HTML with using web components. Whereas without web components, you might be basically redoing a lot of the same work or doing similar work, where this web components piece can take out a lot of that kind of duplicate work or extra work effort. And once you have a large library of web components built up, theoretically web programming speed would improve, as your library of web components continues to grow. From a business perspective, it might be a good idea to use web components for brand consistency. Again, the advantage of dry, don't repeat yourself, kind of what we were talking about, where we're repeating code. So when we're writing applications for the web, you have not only the ability to redo the same work quickly, but because it's the same work, you have that consistent look and feel without having to recreate everything from scratch again. For larger companies and smaller companies, brand consistency can be kind of a challenge for companies all over the place, where if you have a web developer who's on a team, he ends up leaving, you have another developer that comes on board on a team, and you want to keep that same brand consistency, that could be something that would be challenging between, having two different entities coding for you. One way to kind of overcome that challenge would be using something like web components to have that same repertoire or code base of HTML, where you could have a lot of consistent code already available for your projects as you're continuing. Another aspect that would be helpful from a business perspective is this business perspective of saving money, because making reusable web components allows you to greatly cut down on the effort after the fact of these web components being written. So you would have maybe a large team writing the web components up front, and then a smaller team maintaining or continuing to write these web components, but you wouldn't need as large of a team to continue with that web development effort as time continued on. We have a little bit of an example here about how you create a web component. This is examples in CodePen, where this is the content body of the module. We see the code on the side here for everything that was written here. But again, this is kind of bringing the principle of write once, write early on, and then being able to reuse that same code, which I think is the primary business benefit that I see with the platform, would be the ability to save money and the brand consistency, because everything is consistent and everything's already pre-written as long as you write it first up front. I hope this gave a little bit more insight into why you might want to consider using web components in your next project. Thanks so much. Signing out.